A win for the Broncos tonight puts both teams at the 500 mark. Denver has won 4 of the past 6 meetings. I'm not sure if the schedule makers thought Denver would be a good team in primetime, but this is their 4th night game this season, and I'm going to give them a compliment and say they've been terribly boring. Their offense averaging just 12 points per game in the previous 3, and they've won just once in primetime, and that offense, one of the worst in the NFL. So maybe the 4th time in prime time is the charm. Let's welcome in Danny Kanell and get some picks for this Monday night game. Danny, I know you're very excited about the Broncos back in prime time, aren't you?
Hey, I can't wait, but I guarantee you the schedulers thought like I did that the Russell Wilson getting out of Seattle, fresh start, pairing him with an offensive mind like Nathaniel Hackett would be a good thing. I don't think they or anyone else saw just how bad and abysmal this was going to be. And then you've got some questionable coaching decisions. You've got a team that looks like it's having a crisis of confidence. I don't know what to expect from this Broncos team, but I sure don't expect fireworks, that's for sure.
Well, one of the things, too, is, there's still plenty of season left, although it's getting to a point where we're not going to be able to say that for much longer, but they do have time to figure it out. So let's look to tonight's game and see if we can get some winning picks here, starting with your pick to score the first touchdown of the game tonight. Who do you have for us?
All right, well, as I was researching this exercise, there was zero chance I was going to take a Denver Bronco with some of those stats you just threw up there. Like, I just can't trust this Denver offense to score any touchdowns, period, much less take a player to score the first touchdown of the game. So I was looking at the Chargers in this one, and I think there's going to be a lot of attention on Austin Eckler being that, unbelievable weapon that they've really made. That's why he's the clear favorite. I think there's going to be a ton of attention on Mike Williams, who has been Justin Herbert's favorite target. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper and look at the tight end, Gerald Everett, at plus 1,000. I think it's outstanding odds. I think you've got an opportunity to get a nice little return on your investment. And like I said, with so much attention focused on the back coming out of the backfield and the receiver on the outside, I think that provides some opportunity both over the middle, if Justin Herbert decides to go over the middle, or coming across in the underneath route for Gerald Everett to get an opportunity there at some point early in this game. So I'll take the tight end for the Chargers.
Yeah, and last week, coming off that down week, just 3 targets, 1 reception for 2 yards. They had that dip. They didn't throw the ball a lot last week as Austin Eckler got involved. You saw in the package after he had 6 targets in each of the previous 3 weeks. That's a good one there. All right, a pick to score an anytime touchdown at any point during the game. Who do you have?
So this one, I didn't want to get cute with it and look for any type of long shot. I'm going with Austin Eckler. The way he plays the game, he's so versatile. He can get out. He can hurt you with the run game, so you got opportunity to score there. He can hurt you in the pass game. You can score there. And clearly has become such a focal point of this offense. He really has been the star that stirs the drink. And even at minus money, I still think it's worth the taking that opportunity to take it, because I do think it's the closest thing to a sure thing you'll get in tonight's game. So I'll go with Austin Eckler, he's one of my favorite guys too. He's humble. He goes out there, he does his work, and all he does is deliver every time. And hopefully he delivers a winner tonight by getting a touchdown.
When you see the minus 150, he was the second player in Chargers history with 150 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown and receiving touchdown in a single game last week. That seems like easy money when you look at it that way. All right, let's go to the Broncos. Who's the best Broncos player prop that you have? I think you have 2 here for us.
I do. And, like I said, I'm not real confident. I don't think anybody's confident, including Russell Wilson, in this offense. So I want to look at the passing attack, too, because I do think the Broncos will try to run the football. But in the air, I think it's been a struggle, and it's been struggle city for Denver. So I'm going to go to Cortland Sutton and take under his receiving yards. I thought about Jerry Jeudy, but he's got the breakaway speed that kind of makes me nervous if he does get loose here, that he could hit you for a big play. But I'll go with Cortland Sutton, the bigger target on the outside. I thought he could be the Broncos version of DK Metcalf, who was Russell Wilson's big play target in Seattle. It hasn't worked out that well so far, so I'll go under his yards. And then also, I mentioned running the football to try to take the load off of Russell Wilson. I think that's going to be by design. He's got the lat issue, which I know is probably something they're trying to downplay, but it's still you'd have to think they don't want Russell Wilson throwing it a bunch in this game. So I looked at Russell Wilson's passing yardage and went under the 232.5. I just feel like this will be a game they're going to try to get out of Dodge, try to get some confidence in the offense. And the best way to do that is to give it to Melvin Gordon in the backfield and not ask Russell Wilson to be out there throwing it 40 to 50 times tonight.
One of 2 teams that Russell Wilson has never defeated in his career are the Chargers, and of course the other team that he spent the majority of his career with, the Seattle Seahawks. All right, so in terms of the best Chargers player prop, this seems easy, Danny, but against this defense, what do you think?
You're right. I mean, as much as we've been ripping on the Denver Broncos offense, their defense has actually kept them competitive in all of these games that they've been playing. And I go back to how much they harassed Matt Ryan, for the Colts, and we're getting after him, and how they've been shutting down opposing offenses and keeping these games close to one possession games. And I do think they'll be focused. I mentioned on the philosophy going with Gerald Everett, Austin Eckler in the red zone. I think they'll try to shut him down, and I think they'll try to shut him down on the ground. The thing is, he can get you through the air as well. He's a great target. If you're under duress, you flip it out to him. The screen game, they like to use him as well. And just if they can get him in a mismatch against a linebacker, they're going to make the most of it. So I looked at Austin Eckler's receiving yards for the running back coming out of the backfield and went over his 36.5 receiving yards. I think he'll get that tonight.
And Bradley Chubb is certainly going to be in on the action, putting pressure on Justin Herbert. 5.5 sacks for him, and they get Justin Simmons back, the safety position. So that's certainly going to boost this defense. But again, Austin Eckler, 527 yards from scrimmage coming into week 6. All right, let's get a play on the game. Chargers, 4.5-point favorites to start the day. The total at 45 and a hook. What do you like here, Danny?
So I like two, Jeremy. One, I do think, if you try to play teams with desperation, I always think that's a great motivator in the NFL. And the way things have started for Denver, they desperately need a better performance on Monday night. And I think it's got to come tonight. Now, I don't know if they win the game, but over a field goal at 4.5, that just seemed a little bit too rich for me against a Chargers team, which has been good, not great. And you mentioned their defense without Bosa, having some injuries. I think they're susceptible to the run game. So I think the Broncos will try to control that time of possession, work the ball on the ground, keep it out of Justin Herbert's hands and that high-powered offense. And I also think, much like we've seen from all these Broncos games in primetime so far this year, I don't think you're going to see much offense, so I'll take the under 45 and a hook as well. So a little bit of a contrarian play, but I kind of like where I'm sitting tonight.
Chargers going after their 55th win in the history of the series, but have only won 2 of the past 6. Danny Kanell joining us for Monday Night Picks. Is Monday Night Football, big game tonight between the Broncos and the Chargers at SoFi. And of course, our coverage here on CBS Sports HQ gets underway at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. 2 hours of coverage leading up to kickoff. You get best bets as well with Todd Furman, Kenny White, and Pete Prisco, Charles Davis, Bryant McFadden, and Danny Kanell giving you some analysis as well. And of course, you get DFS advice from our Fantasy Football Today crew. It all gets underway at 6 p.m. Eastern here on HQ.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.